first touchdown as a Green Bay Packers starter. Here's to you, big boy. Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? Oh, that's where he is, in the end zone. Let's go, baby. Oh, Packers making my Christmas a merry one. Go Pack, go, baby. Alright, we're back. Woo! Let's go, baby! That's how you do it! With the youngest team going to the playoffs. I literally have no idea what is going on today. The Packers are up 41 points, baby! 41.
Level 138 in progress.
What is going on, Frozen Tundra Sports Nation? It is Mike, and it is a great, great day. Happy Wednesday to all of you. I hope you guys had a great, fantastic day. Again, if you are logging in or saw my post on Facebook or TikTok, I think I posted it. Today isn't really going to be about a game or anything that's on. I mean, I do have the Miami and Denver game going on. It's a pretty close game. In the third, Miami is up 56-55 with 7:43 left of the third quarter. So maybe I'll keep an eye on that, keep you updated with that. But today is about so much more than just sports and sports news, which, again, I'm sure we're going to talk about eventually if you guys are out there and wanted to talk about that. But today, I want to talk about the amazing day that happened yesterday. So I'll let a couple people join in if ones are not on yet or, have not joined the stream. Just give a couple minutes before I actually get into the actual story of what happened. But it was just an incredible day, and just a huge shout out to Channel 12 WSIN here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, for giving me the opportunity to come on there and do an interview about something that was extremely passionate to me. So if you didn't see the story, I'm actually working on getting it posted in my description of the live right now. It was really cool to see when I just Googled WSIN, and it was one of their top stories on their local news. Still is right now, which I am definitely going to take a picture of that right now. That is just so cool. And again, it's not, the whole point of that was not for me to get recognition or gain subscribers on here. It really honestly had nothing to do with that. It had a very simple thing of, one, gaining an awareness of the dangers of working in corrections, and it's not even just inside the facility, it is also outside the facility. So again, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I'm going to get this link put on here, which just was really, really cool. Put that in here. GoFundMe link. Alright, so let's get that going here. Alright, so that should be on there now. Alright, so let's see what we got here. So yeah, I mean, let me know who's out there, who's watching. Again, I just want to get a couple more people in here to tell the story. But it was just really, really exciting. Hope you guys, again, are having a great Wednesday. Got the ticker going. Nashville is beating Winnipeg 2-0 with 6:03 left of the second period. So let's go Preds. That's great. Looks like the Blackhawks are not playing today, so obviously we won't have any score updates for them. But, yeah, hope everyone is having a great, great Wednesday. So just give a couple more minutes. I see what the struggle is. I guess Love is Blind is on here. And that started at 8 o'clock, so maybe won't get a lot of people, but who is ever out there, welcome to Frozen Tundra Sports. Man, I'm still kind of like on a high for what happened yesterday, and if you haven't seen or read or watched it, it was just so freaking cool for me. First time that ever happened to me in my life. Just really, really cool. So let's see. We got some more people in here yet. Still trying to figure out how to see who we got. But, regardless, you know what? I'm just going to do it again. This isn't probably going to be a long stream. I know we don't have any Bucks games. I saw that they got killed yesterday. I think the score was I know they had 90-something to 120. Again, I was celebrating my aunt's birthday yesterday, which thank you, Aunt Karen, if you're out there watching. For the invite, we had a great time with some great food. So I always love me some hibachi, and as you could tell, a lot of sake. Not that I was acting crazy, but I just drank a lot of sake. All right, let's see what the score of the Bucks game was yesterday. 129-94. This was just a rough road trip for the Bucks, in my opinion. Man, they struggled on that coast. Don't know what it was, what was really going on. If it was coaching, I didn't really get a chance to watch the games, but losing to the Lakers by 1, getting killed by the Warriors last Wednesday, that was rough. I mean, we did beat the Clippers, which was nice, but still, it was rough. 129-94 yesterday. It was rough. So tomorrow we play the Sixers at home. We're back at home. Hopefully we can turn that around and make a little streak going on here. Then we got the Suns at home on St. Patrick's Day at noon on Sunday. I'm hoping that, depending on what is going on with plans, might be able to jump on for a stream for that. But we will see about that. And then I believe after that is the Celtics. Yeah, Boston next Wednesday at 6:30. I will be streaming that. Again, I don't know the laws. Somebody had told me that maybe I could show the game under the Fair Use Act or whatever. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with that type of stuff. And again, I don't want to get this channel blocked or flagged or anything for showing stuff I'm not supposed to. So maybe if there's any attorneys out there that know anything about the Fair Act or Fair Use Act, I would definitely, or fair use law, whatever it is, let me know, because I sure don't. And again, I don't want to get any kind of legal trouble with that. So with that being said, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in to what actually happened yesterday, how it happened, why it happened, and then giving an update of where we are at currently with fundraising for the Sergeant. So again, for those that are just joining, welcome to Frozen Tundra Sports. Hope you had a great Wednesday. My Tuesday was crazy yesterday. It really was. It started as a typical day. I just really wanted to go out there just to do my job. I was just working. Went to a couple of things that I had to do for that. About a little bit later in the day, I received a text message from a GoFundMe. It was a GoFundMe communication member. And it came from this 800 number. I didn't recognize it. And I'm like, I've been fooled before, and I really, really don't know about that. I don't know. I don't really trust that. But then they ended up trying to call me. I didn't answer because, again, I thought it was kind of a scam-ish. I didn't know. But then they basically said, hey, we've been contacted by a local media outlet who would like to do a story on your fundraising efforts, the why, the what, and all that type of stuff. And so then after they missed the call, I then got another text message right after the call. And it was like, well, again, same spiel. Hey, they want to let you know they want to talk to you about your fundraising efforts, what's going on with it. And they said, if you'd rather prefer you contact them, here's their information. And it was a legit WSIN 12 investigative reporter. I'm like, let me Google this to see if this guy's even employed there anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't watch news that much. I try to stay away from it because most of it is negative. So then I said, you know what? Sure, give them my contact. If it's real, they'll give me a call. I'm not going to chase down something that I don't even know if it's real. So I got the text. I got a call right after that, and it was a local number, and it happened to be the reporter from WSIN. And basically, it was like, hey, I just want to talk to you a little bit about your GoFundMe type of thing. So I'm like, all right. I just had sat down to eat, and I was like, man, just waiting to eat. I was pretty hungry. And so I tell him a little bit what I'm doing. And again, if you don't know the story, I'll kind of give you an update on it. It's basically, I used to work, for those who don't know, I used to work for the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office inside the Milwaukee County Jail. Worked there for 11 years, got to the rank of captain for a little bit, and then it just made sense for me that it was time to depart because I was missing so many things with my family. Friends, I didn't really have that much of a social life. Managed to get into drinks with some coworkers from time to time, and then all of a sudden let me see here. It was Tuesday, March 5th. I got a really terrible text message from a friend of mine, and it said that somebody from the jail was assaulted. And I just, anytime anybody hears that, whether in your law enforcement or corrections, you hear somebody got assaulted, you like that just like it sends chills down your spine about it. So obviously I got more information on who it was, what happened. Then I found out that it didn't happen inside the facility. It actually happened while the sergeant was on his way into work, like walking into work. And I was like, okay, well, what happened? What do you mean by assault? And I found out he got stabbed like many times. I would think it was like 4 times, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And something like just came over me. I was getting my kids ready for school, and I was just looking at them. I'm like that could be anybody that works at any correctional facility or any police department, or it can happen to anybody. And I was just really taken back, and I was obviously thankful that it did not happen to me. But it happening to anybody is terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. But because whenever you leave that place or you're walking into that place, for me, I'm always looking around to see if there's anybody that I might recognize that might be a threat. You're just always on 10, and I could never relax until I actually got home. So basically, long story short, I decided, you know what, I can't be there to make any policy changes or procedure changes to help him. So I decided to create a GoFundMe. And with that GoFundMe, I did not want any recognition for it. I didn't know if it was going to go anywhere. I just wanted to help this guy that worked so hard. He worked there for, like I said, over a decade. I found out it was 14 years, which is incredible to me, especially at a place like a jail. So basically, I just wanted to do something to help him out. And with that being said, I created the GoFundMe, and I just started posting it. Put it on my Facebook, put it on my Instagram. I think I even put it on my TikTok. And I don't have a crazy amount of followers on any of those, really. I think I have below 60 on all of them, which, again, not doing it for followers or anything like that. I just wanted to help somebody. So I started posting it, and what's really great thing about corrections, if you never worked it, is you feel like you get this family atmosphere from that place. And because you guys are going through the worst of times together, and you go to have the best of times together. And the number one thing that every correctional officer wants is to go home the same way that you came in. And that, unfortunately, was not the case for the sergeant. So, with that being said, I just wanted to get out there. Your OnlyFans. Do I have an OnlyFans, Garcia? I don't know if I do. I think if I had an OnlyFans, people would pay me to put my clothes back on. I think I could make like $50, but if I can get into some snow pants or something like that, I think would make that place go hot. But thanks for stopping in, Garcia, man. I'm just kind of talking about what happened the other day. Actually, yesterday with me being on the news. And so when you feel like a family with correctional, and Garcia, you know this, like it doesn't matter if you work there or don't, you still get that family atmosphere. So a lot of people started sharing it. Started putting it on their page, asking people to donate, because again, at that time, I did not know if the sergeant was going to get any kind of workman's comp or anything, because technically it was off the clock. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, I'm sitting there eating. The guy calls me. He's like, so have you like talked to the sergeant? Have you like conferred with the family? They asked you to do. I said no. I said, I mean, he knows I did it now because I reached out because I needed to get his information so he could start using the funds. But yeah, I said no. Nobody asked me to do this. Nobody requested it. And again, I didn't see a lot in the news if a county what they were doing. And again, it is my hope that they were helping him out, reaching out to him, checking in on him to make sure he's good. I just didn't know because I don't work there anymore. And I didn't want to be that annoying guy. Hey, what are you guys doing for him? Because it's like, well, you're on the outside. Why do you care? I do care. I care a lot. And that might be my downfall. But again, I will never apologize for helping somebody. Never. So I told him this. I said, yeah, I mean, he asked if I'd be interested and available to do an interview. And I said, yeah, that's fine. I'm probably free the next couple of days at these times. And he goes, ugh. Actually, I need it done in the next 2 hours. And I was all the way across town. I was like 40 minutes from my house, trying to wrap up my work day. And I'm like, what? And I'm in all my work gear with all my company's, stuff on there. And I looked like a mess. I wasn't cleaned up, camera ready. I mean, I don't think this could ever be camera ready. I'm sure there should be a sensor screen on my face right now, but I'm like, I gotta have to run home and change. Or at first I was thinking, well, can I run to a store and buy stuff? But I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna go out and buy clothes and hair products when I got the stuff at home. So I got definitely a filter. Yeah, girls, yeah, a filter would be nice. I think I don't know if there was like a I don't even know, Ryan Reynolds filter would be good. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe I'll just wear the Deadpool mask. If I could buy one, that'd be nice. But so I said, hey, it's gonna be about 45 minutes before I'm even ready. But where can we meet? I want to make it easier for you. And he says, well, if you want, you could come down to the station. And I'm like, okay, that's another 25 minutes away from where I live. But let me see if I can make it work. Let me see. So I run home. Mind you, I was on a motorcycle. I was on a Harley, which, by the way, is for sale if anybody is interested. It's a 2015 Ultra Limited. Very low miles, but all the bells and whistles. Anyways, I got home, freaking shave as quick as I can without cutting myself, try to do my hair a little bit, throw on a polo, and I haul ass, safely, of course, down to the station. And I am so nervous because I thought I would at least have a day or two to think about what I want to say, what are they going to ask, and honestly, what I kind of in the back of my mind was like, are they just trying to get information that maybe the sheriff's office or the county wasn't sharing with them? And I'm like, I'm not going to be that type of person. I'm not trying to throw anybody on the bus on how it was handled. Again, I don't know. I wasn't there. Of course, everyone's going to have their stories. Oh, well, this person did this or this person didn't. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't have access to the cameras anymore. I don't know. So, and I'm like, I really hope this guy has good intentions because that's what I have. I have good intentions and I just want to get the word out. One, I want to get the word out about the fundraiser, but two, I also want to let people know that, hey, corrections is dangerous. You don't hear about it so much on the news and stuff. There might be a little bit more press coverage on actual sworn law enforcement and stuff, which is great because they deserve it. My dream was to be a cop growing up. My dad was a cop and I wanted nothing more since I was 4 or 5 just to be that. And when I got to the jail, I was like, this is close enough. And I kind of found my niche in corrections. I had a passion for it. I had a passion for the people. There were so many different things you could do in corrections that I didn't know. Originally, it was going to be my stepping stone, but I just wanted to kind of master the craft of corrections. And I don't think I ever did, but I definitely felt like I had a good enough experience for it. So, yeah. Anyway, so I get there, and guy greets me at the front. And just a shout out to them, by the way. They were so courteous and respectful. They didn't try to, do any kind of high-pressure sales, so you're trying to get a scoop on anything. It was real nice. Got there, they had a camera all set up in their lobby, which was really nice. And I'm like, all right, we're doing this. I thought there was going to be a little bit more prep work. Hey, I'm going to talk to you about this and stuff. But no, it was more of a real relaxed kind of conversation with him. We were sitting across from one another in these really comfy chairs. And yeah, he just started asking like real questions. How long did I work there? How did I know the sergeant? And all I could be was honest. Hey, I worked there for 11 years. He'd been there for 14, so my entire career I've known of him. For those that know the sergeant, again, I'm not going to be putting names. I know they put it on the news, but I haven't talked to him to say, hey, is it okay if I say your name on my stream? He's got other stuff to worry about, so I'm just going to call him the sergeant. But for those that have read the story or whatever, obviously you'll know the name. It's on my GoFundMe too, but I try to be as respectful as possible because, again, this is not, the whole thing is not about me. It's about him and his recovery and the amazing tale of him surviving. And that's what I said on my Facebook. But I was like, hey, after the story hit, they're like, hey, great job. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Stevens. And I really do appreciate the thanks. Don't get me wrong. I sincerely appreciate that. But like I said on my Facebook, is the thanks is not for me. The thanks to me, and this is my belief. You can have your own beliefs. You're entitled to whatever. But my belief is the thanks goes to God for seeing him survive that attack. And I wholeheartedly mean that. Is that this, thank God that somehow he was able to survive and fight off this vicious, cowardly attack, unprovoked attack, and then go and be able to get to the jail lobby and not only identify who did it and hold so that justice hopefully can be served on him, and then to get him the medical help that he needed. Like that's just incredible to me. So I just thank God every day that he was able to survive. And so we were just talking about that. I talked a lot about with him, and obviously they're not going to show the whole 20 minutes, right? It wasn't like an exclusive interview with Mike Stevens. Oh, no, they want that. Again, I wanted focus more on the fundraising efforts and getting the story out on how this incredible, I'm going to call him a hero, this incredible hero survived this attack. And that's what it was. I talked a lot about the type of person he was in the jail, how reliable he was, the kind of leader that he is. And it really felt good to just sing his praises because, as you know, in corrections, it's a very thankless job. It really, really is. And for them to even show interest in kind of what happened and what it's like inside there and what it's like to live outside of there, because again, like I told them, Milwaukee is not a big place. You're bound to see people, but like I told him, and like I told a lot of the officers that I instructed myself or during in-service, is like, regardless of what people are accused of in there, you got to treat them with dignity and respect because we're all one mistake away from being on the other side of that door. And obviously we'll address the behavior that they may have or showcase in that facility. But again, at the very least, they deserve respect and dignity because they're humans. Again, some people in there completely innocent. That's not for us to judge. That is for the courts to decide and the jury trials to decide. That's not up to corrections officers. So talked a lot about that, but it just, and then I didn't think it was going to really be big, but people started sharing the story. I just put it on there so people that weren't able to see it live. And actually, I should back up a little bit. So after I got done with the interview, I was on such a high. I just like, oh wow, it actually went really good, even though how nervous and scared I was, which I don't know if that showed on camera or not, but I was sweating bullets, especially on the way there. I remember talking to my wife like, I've never done this before. I really don't know. I don't have some PR person that's like trying to guide me on what to say or anything. So that was like really just the unknown was really, really nerve-wracking. So I end up getting done there, and then I start heading home. And I'm just so excited. I'm like, let me go home. And, we got done about 45 minutes before I think the thing was going to air. So get home, throw on the TV, the first airing of it. It was a very condensed version. And again, I'm not in news production. I've never done this stuff before, so I don't know how it's supposed to go. But it showed it. It was a really condensed version of my interview and the story. I don't even think at that time, they didn't show even the GoFundMe. And I was like, I really just rushed all the way across town, back, shaved, all this stuff, ran all the way downtown, and this was not a paid interview, nor do I deserve that, but I was like, I did a lot of stuff in order to make this happen, and and then I was like, for that? I'm like, I think the whole story the first time it showed was like 1 minute and 51 seconds, I think, and I was like, well, that kind of sucked, but I was like, maybe they didn't have a lot of editing time, they were maybe adding some more stuff later on, when it was going to air later in the evening, which it did. And that was like the coolest thing. I watched it live with, actually, I was getting ready to drop off my kids at their grandma's house. And I just was watching it on my phone. I was like, hey, here's Daddy. And that was really cool that I got to share that with them. And that was definitely a lot more detailed of the story and a lot more pieces of my interview talking about the sergeant. So I was just extremely grateful for the opportunity. I'm not done yet. I mean, with interviews, I don't think that's going to happen again, but, I'm not done. Going to keep trying to gain awareness for people in corrections and the severity, because it does take, and I know they said in the story, I wish they would have said like, hey, like I was a victim of an assault. It was nowhere near what this was, but, back in I think it was 2018, I was a victim of assault. I'll talk about that on a different stream, but because it's not about me tonight. But I was like, any kind of assault that happens in there, it sticks with you. You don't forget it. You still might have some kind of I still got one of these streams. I will show it. Yes, I still got the scars. I did tell him about that, and I will tell that funny story on a different one. But yeah, but again, any assault, whether it's stabbing, whether it's getting bit, whether it's getting punched, kicked, spit on, anything like that, dashed with something, it sticks with you. You don't forget it. Even though sometimes it feels like the agency might have forgotten about it, you don't. And you don't have a lot of places to go with that. You just kind of live with it. And there's different severities. Obviously, what the sergeant went through, I don't know. Like, it still just rocks me. Like, I can't imagine. I'm just going into work, getting ready to start my day so early in the morning, and something like that happens. I cannot fathom it. So, but yeah, so I saw the story, and I was like, I felt really just being proud. I was proud of the fact that corrections is kind of on the spotlight right now. Like, hey, we don't get a lot of appreciation a lot, so it's nice that it felt like somebody cared, which is something that lacked for quite a while there. So it's good to see that that's kind of changing a little bit. And I got other plans. I'm not going to announce right now, but I got other plans on future things that I'm planning on doing to continue to further help people that are in corrections, and it's not just jails, but also prisons too. So I'll talk about that on a different day. But one thing I do want to do that I am very excited about is because I didn't know what this story was going to do for fundraising efforts. I was hoping it was going to help a little bit, but it helped more than a little bit. So yesterday when I went there, I believe I was at the donations were up to 1,505 or the last time I checked was like 1,540 something. I think that's what it was before I left, because I ran down here to see what it was at. So it was 1,540 when I left for the interview. So as of right now, drum roll please. I don't have any sound effects, so that's not going to happen. Man, it went up even more. We are now at $2,105, ladies and gentlemen. $2,105. So I'm going to give you one of these to all of you that helped out with the donations. And one thing I did forget to mention during the interview about why I did this was at that time, at the moment that I found out about it, I didn't know if he was going to get workman's compensation, because again, like I said, it happened outside of work. So I did not know. And with that, I was like, I don't want to sit and wait. I don't want to wait because I just can't. I got to do something. This is a brother to me. In corrections, you just feel like family. You got brothers and sisters, and that's what he is. And so I told the reporter that and said, hey, I don't know if he's going to get workman's comp. and he like somehow he found out. I found out at 6 o'clock when that story hit that he is getting workman's compensation for this. So I was like, nice. So that's great. He's gonna have that. He deserves way more than that, but I'm glad that they did, and I'm hopefully this can supplement also as well. So he's not worried about finances, at least for a little bit. Hopefully not at all, of course, but at least for a while, get him through these hard times. So just a huge thank you to one God for letting him survive the attack, but also for all of you guys that are supporting. Whether and it's doesn't have to be by donations. It truly doesn't. It can be because you shared the story, you shared the GoFundMe. Just raising awareness is huge as well. But again, these donations is just crazy to me. We've almost went up by $1,000 in the last 24 hours, and that's just amazing. Like I see, I don't know if you guys can see when you go on there, but I can see like the names of people as long as they didn't mark themselves as anonymous. But I'm just looking here, like it's just really heartwarming. Like I see so many people that have that donated that don't even work there anymore. Some of them weren't even COs that applied. There's people that were COs that became deputies. There's people that have that are still currently working there. I saw a couple members of command staff did, which is absolutely amazing that they did. But I just cannot believe that everyone, so many people came together and is getting this guy the help that he needs. And whether or not he needs it or doesn't, I guess it doesn't even really matter. It's just the fact that they're helping him. So again, because of everyone, $2,105 right now. And I know I put the goal at 5,000. That was just a random one that I picked. Obviously, that'd be amazing if we keep getting closer to that. And I'm going to keep promoting this fundraiser. I do have it in the link in the description here. It's just, to me, that just shows that people do care. Because so many times you feel like people don't, and we do. And the sad thing, and I don't know if you guys were on here for other streams or not, but the day that this happened was also the same day that I went to a funeral for a former coworker of the sheriff's office. And it's just, you just don't know. Life is so unknown. You don't know. Tomorrow is not promised. I learned that, unfortunately, at a very, very young age when my mom passed away when I was 15. And, you just got to live each day to the fullest. I know it's so cliche and, oh, that's just a meme or something, but it's so, so true. You just don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow or what tomorrow has to bring. Luckily for me, yesterday brought great things for corrections in general, but also to help out the sergeant that was attacked. I'm just so proud of that. Honestly, I truly, truly am. And hopefully it doesn't stop. Hopefully it keeps growing because, again, I don't know how long he's going to be out. I don't know, what kind of recovery he's going to be needing, if there's any physical therapy. I don't know all that. And honestly, that's no one's business but his, and he can share it with whoever he wants. But obviously we wish him nothing but the best and a speedy recovery. And, I think this just shows that people have his back. And again, for me, actions speak so much louder than words. You can say, oh, I care, or I'm here for you. But it's times like this is where you actually get to see who is there. And again, it doesn't mean just be by money, but also maybe just sending him a message, checking in on him, sharing the GoFundMe. Because if you can't help him, maybe some other people can. I think that's just huge. And I think just, they always say knowledge is power. But you spread knowledge by spreading the information. So, yeah, I mean that's kind of the story on on how it happened, and I'm proud of the community that we live in and that we worked in at that time, where that things like this can happen. Because there's places I'm sure people have got injured at or worked at, and it's just paperwork, and then see you later. Good luck to yourself. And that's just what makes me proud that that's not this case. Because and again, I know there have been multiple assaults that have occurred in that facility alone. I know that for a fact. I've been witness to it. Again, like I said, I was a victim of one. And you don't hear nothing in the news. You don't hear anything about it. And obviously, you don't work in corrections to make it to the news. That's something I actually always preach. Don't be a negative, don't be a negative headline. Don't be a headline. And it's just something like this. How interested this particular reporter was. It seemed like he legit cared, and that's what I think meant a lot to me. Why I felt really good about doing it, because if he didn't care, he definitely played it off well. Because to me, I got the impression that he really legit was interested, and he asked really good questions about kind of what it's like working there. And I told him that you don't know when you're going to see these people again, and you just don't know what their mindset is. So yeah, that's kind of how that went. And I got his card, so because I told him about some of my ideas that I have. Again, I'm not sharing quite yet, because I'm still trying to figure out the path to do it. But just know that I do have some future plans on how to help more correctional officers that need it. And I can't wait to share that with you guys. I really can't. That's something about corrections. And yes, and am I happier that I left there? It's a coin toss. There are some days where I'm like, oh my God, like I can't imagine why I even applied there. Why did I ever work there? That place is garbage or this or that. But then there's other days where it's like, man, kind of miss that place in a weird way. But I think for me, it's like I miss the people. I want to say that. I believe I miss that. That's what it is. I miss the people. There are so many good people there. And there's always that he said, she said crap and high school drama. And this person's doing this with that. All that stuff kind of it goes on there. But at the end of the day, people got your back there. Yeah, Garcia, you're not wrong. The action was something. I did hit a point where I was like, oh, I can't wait. But then, for the action. But then I hit a point where it's like, I'm kind of good without the action. But it was that adrenaline rush that you get from that. And obviously, since we've left it, I know there's been some crazy things that have happened. He actually tried asking me about, I believe, when they had that barricade thing, and I'm like, I was not there for that. I don't know. I've heard about it, but I'm like, I got no information. He just like shook his head. He's like, man, like I can't imagine that. I said, we've seen a couple of things like that where people refuse to lock in and stuff, but nothing like that where it got that intense. So yeah, that's one of the things. It's like, I'm sure police officers get the same thing when they get a call, and you get that adrenaline rush, which I think, makes the job kind of, it's that excitement that you don't get from other jobs. Yeah, no, I don't get that type of excitement like I did now, or like I did then with my job now. But for me, my excitement is being able to go to my kids' events, whether it's, gymnastics practice or swim lessons or volleyball. I get to do all that. Or, these daddy-daughter dances that me and the girls love so much. To me, and again, everyone to each your own on what you think, but for me, I get even more excitement from that. And, I'll sometimes, mess with the girls. Hey, what do you think about Dad? Go back to the gym? No, Dad, please don't go. Because they knew how much time that took me away from them. And when I left, and it was a hard decision to leave. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, I didn't care. Like I was running out of there. No, I really wasn't. It was a hard decision, but it was the best decision for me and my family. And, for me, that's just, and those that worked the overtime or whatever, the pay cut was hefty, going from where I was to where I was, but it definitely was big and significant. But to me, I just couldn't put a price on my family. I just couldn't. I know that sounds maybe a little lame or, like I said, cliche, but that was the decision for me. It wasn't really a particular incident or person or anything that made me leave. It was more so just I knew what I was missing with my kids. Yeah, and that's like that was the hard part about actually, being a supervisor. It's like the mandating, whether it was a 4 hour or 8 hour shift. It's like I know how I feel when I would have to get forced, and I hated it. Whether it was staying late, coming in early, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But that's part of the job, unfortunately, and it's oh god, it's things like that. It's like, oh, I don't miss that at all. And trust me, I've had people reach out to me trying to bring me back. Even as early as today, I got some messages, and I appreciate that because again, I miss the people. I miss the people. There are genuinely good people that work there, and I wish them all the best. And I tell the people the same thing, like, hey, it would be a really hard decision for me to go back, but I don't have that. So that's why with some other things that I have planned, I'm hoping to get that same excitement like I did when I created this GoFundMe. When I see the results of it, like I get that it was a good. Yeah, it's funny. My not my current boss, but before I took this, I'm in my current position. When I was with my company, same company, different role. When I was in my previous role, my GM was saying that as well. Like I was really good at filling posts because of how I was able to explain it in a certain way, and how hey, it's gonna be good. But I don't know. That's just how I am. Yeah. The funny thing is, Garcia, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I used to sell Kirby vacuum cleaners when I was 18. I actually didn't do too bad. That was a hard sale. That was a $2,000 vacuum cleaner. That was hard. Vicky W. Well, who is Vicky W? Let's see. I don't even know if I can see who that is. And I apologize. I see the names. I always try to know who I'm talking to or who's watching so I can thank you. But, when I go to the channels here. Oh, Vicky J. You spelled the last name wrong. Sorry. Also known as the artist formerly known as Vicky Dub. That's awesome. That's great. Hi, Vicky. Hope you're having a great night. I hope I didn't cause any fights between you and Ben with what he was talking about today. I hope not. But, yeah, I used to sell Kirby vacuum cleaners, and my territory was Milwaukee. That's usually where I got my... Okay, good. Just making sure. Yeah, which, by the way, there was no pressure for that, by the way. That was just letting him know what's available. I didn't even do a sales pitch. I promise, Vicky. I promise. But no, thanks for joining in. Appreciate it. But yeah, like I said, again, it was just good times. But I just think about, like, I can't imagine the things that I've done in the last going almost 2 years now. Missing that. I don't know. Like, I don't know if physically I could go back to that. Working on the weekends or missing holiday parties and stuff. Like, missing birthday. I don't know. I don't think I could do it. I truly don't. But with what I have planned, I'm hoping that I can get that sense of excitement from helping people. Kind of like how I right now, I can do the homework with the kids and stuff. I can listen to them read. It's really cool for that. And that's what I'm looking forward to, and I can't wait to officially announce what I'm doing. But I have to figure out the pathway to do what I want to do and get it off the ground. And what was really cool, I actually threw the idea, kind of told the reporter about it, and he gave me his card and he said, once you get it off the ground, let me know. I would like to do a story on it. I'm like, that's so cool to me, so cool. So, but funny story. out of the, I think there's 3 people in here, which thank you for tuning in here. Would anybody like to hear a funny story about the written story of what happened yesterday? Would anybody like to hear something kind of funny, which to me it was not that funny at first, but it is now. Would you like to hear something funny? Do it. Okay. So, like I said, I was at dinner last night for my aunt. We were getting some hibachi, and somebody had told me, like, oh, hey, the story. Thanks, Figgy. The story is actually in print right now, and I'm like, awesome, let's go. So I start reading it, and I scroll to the bottom, the funny thing is, because I did try to use this channel for fundraising. I'm going to continue to try to use it for fundraising for other things. Obviously not for me, but for other things. So I scroll to the bottom, and I had told him about, like, hey, I'm planning on doing this on my channel. I said, I don't know if you can mention it or not, but, Frozen Tundra Sports is my channel. I'm going to be doing some things. So at the bottom of it, it said Stevens plans to use his YouTube channel, Frozen Tundra Sports, to raise money and awareness about the GoFundMe for Wilborn and potentially other correction officers down the road. Nothing funny about that. However, when they first put it out, though, let's see. I don't know if I can show you guys this. I mean, I can show it to you, but I don't know if I can. If you guys been able to see it. Let's see if you can. I'm sorry about this if you can't see it. Come on. You're not going to do it, are you? There we go. Oh. Wait, why does it say that? That's not the right one. I'm sorry about that. Here it is. Sorry about that. So here, come on. There you go. If you look, it says GoFundMe to raise money awareness. GoFundMe for Heart. Heart. Oh, come on. Focus on the ugly. Oh, maybe it's the filter. Maybe I broke it. I don't even know how to fix that. Holy crap, that's terrible. I'm sorry for any drunk people. Let me see if I can fix it. Autofocus. Alright, we can fit this. Make it blink. I don't know what that means. Oh, maybe? I don't know what it means. Make it blink. I'm really kind of confused by that. Come on. Oh, I gotta work on this crap. I gotta fix this. This is just terrible. Wonder. Well, that was just a terrible idea. Not paying up. Okay, so it shows the phone. Go back. You focus on me. No, can't do it. That's terrible. I'm sorry about that. All right. I'll try to work on that. Maybe I can Google it. How to unblur my webcam. How do I make my Nah, didn't do it. Well, that's just terrible. But anyways, yeah, they basically said that that the fundraiser was for the inmate that attacked Wilborn. Shit, I said his name. Well, it's in the news. It's on my fundraiser, so yeah. But yeah, so I was like, that's not it. That's terrible. That's why I ran out from the restaurant and texted the guy. I said, hey, can we get this fixed, like, now? And he's like, oh, good catch. And then they fixed it within, like, 2 minutes. This might be the worst stream ever. Let's see if I can do Logitech. Let's see if this will work. I'm trying to open up the actual program for the camera here. Sorry about this, folks. But again, I do appreciate you guys hopping on and stopping by. Yeah. Okay. Camera not available. Okay. No, I don't. Oh. Oh. Did it work? Magically? That's creepy. All right, well, that worked. That was work. Thank God. Appreciate that. But yeah, so I ran out. I was like, hey, we really got to fix this right now. It looks like the Nuggets won. All right, well, there you go. Suck it, Miami. And Nashville is still up, 4-0 against Winnipeg with 10:59 left of the third period. But, yeah, I mean, you guys have any questions about how it went down or anything like that? Again, I'm not going to announce yet what I have planned because I got some, got to still do some legwork on that, but I will eventually do that. And it's going to be really, really good, I think, because it's definitely something I'm definitely passionate about. And so hoping. But, yeah, I mean, any questions at all? Again, I do appreciate you guys stopping in and upload cert weeks. What cert weeks? You talking about like the class? Like videos of the class? I don't know if I could put that online. I mean, it wasn't that. I mean, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Yeah, that cert class was definitely something else. And I don't know why but each class we made it harder, and it wasn't even like on purpose. It's not like we were like, all right, this is how we're gonna make it harder. It was just something that we just did. I don't know, we always had like ideas and bounced them off each other. I'm sorry, Garcia, bro. I'm really sorry. Like that, I almost feel bad. I almost do. No, I do it. I don't get joy from seeing people suffer. And the reason why I was so hard on the cert recruits, and I hope they are continuing that, because I think that's what makes officers stronger, is when they're pushed to their limit, and then they can actually see what they're capable of. Because it's easy to say, oh, I can't do this, or oh, I'm too weak for that. But when you don't have a choice in terms of like you have to do it or you're out. Again, that's just one of those things where it's like, hey, you got to do it. If this is something you want, you're going to work for it. And while I was there, there's not one person that I can think of that. I'm not going to lie. There were a couple people I thought that that shouldn't have passed. But again, it was all based on our own curriculum. It wasn't something that was set by the state. I reworked those lesson plans. We started when I first taught my first cert class. It was 24 hours. We had 3 days to train a cert class, and then it expanded. We got it approved for 40. The way I explained it to people, probably in your class too, Garcia, was it's the most fun thing that you never want to do again. Kind of like how it was for my basic training. It was great people. It was great teamwork. A lot of times you surprise yourself. And that was like my biggest thing, is like, I know no one's going to like me, and that's fine. But you can hate me together and come together as a team. That was always kind of my messed up philosophy. I don't know. To me, it seemed to work because I always saw improvement. To be honest with you, Garcia, like when I went through the academy and I had, really good instructors, but it was like that. To a certain extent, it wasn't as crazy, but it was definitely difficult. You had to earn your place. And again, I haven't been at the academy I went and stopped by for one cert class for a day, and kind of showed them how I did it, type of thing. But when I was even as an instructor there, I was really hard on my classes for the main reason of like, listen, like this could be life or death. You don't know. This is not a game. This is not working at, and no offense to people that do, but this is not working fast food. This is not working at, a restaurant. Like this is something where you could possibly lose your life or fight for your life, and I've been in those situations. Like I don't know if I'm gonna make it out okay. Like I don't know what's gonna happen, and that is the reason why I'm so hard because you gotta be at the top of your game, especially at that facility. I know there's other jails, especially in the state of Wisconsin, where they might hold like 20 people or something like that. When you have 960 some beds, that's a lot of people. That's a lot, and you gotta know how to communicate. You gotta know how to write, and you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know what you can and can't do, because there are people there that try to overstep what they can do, and that's just not going to work. There are going to be times where, and Garcia, where you're going to have people that have been in there longer than you have, and I'm talking about the inmates, and they know what officers can or can't do just because they've been there for so long, or maybe repeated visits and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that's from the time I was an instructor. You got to be hard, because it can save somebody's life. And to be honest with you, in my philosophy, not everybody can make it. Not everybody that signs up to be a correctional officer can make it. And there's a reason for that, because that job's not for everybody. It's very hard. It's very thankless. It's long hours, a lot of days in a row, not the best schedule. And that's where, we've lost people from alcohol. I've lost people to suicide that work there. I've seen people get addicted to different things, and that's what's driving me to do what I want to do, and I can't wait to get this thing going, and like I said, share it with people. Probably looking for people that can help me out with it after a little bit, after I figure out what it is that needs to be done. So just stay tuned for that, but yeah, I mean, man, I just want the best for people there. They deserve all the money in the world, just like police officers do, teachers, firefighters. Obviously, I'm just gonna say this. I know this is a sports talk, but this is where it does get me. Like when you see professional sports players, I'm gonna say it, the Kirk Cousin deal, $180 million for 4 years. $180 million. Who in their life needs that much money? And again, I'm not taking away from how hard it is to be a professional athlete to get to that level, where you get those kind of deals, and that's fine. But in my mind, what about the teachers, the firefighters, the police officers, the correctional officers? Just so many professions that I think deserve that money. And again, I'm not taking away, because I know you're away from your family and you're putting in work all the time and stuff. But $180 million for 4 years to be a quarterback? It's not like you're risking your life. I know things can happen. I definitely know what happened to that Bills player where he had the cardiac arrest, and luckily that, and he was blessed to survive that. But I mean, to me, there's other professions. I know that's the society, because we buy the tickets and the jerseys and all that. I get that, but it's just frustrating to think that there are people out there, or the military, the veterans. Like, where's that money for them? It just gets me. You hear about all these police officers and correctional officers that they work 20, 30 years, and then they retire, and then they ended up, passing away in 6 months or a year or 2 years after they retire. Like, where's the help from them to try to prevent that? Where's that money to help them get away from alcohol or drugs or whatever? I just think that would be a better investment of money than $180 for a quarterback for 4 years, and I think he's guaranteed $100 million or something like that. It's just, again, these are just my thoughts. I love sports, and I one of the reasons why they make I watch, I go to games and stuff. I buy jerseys. You know, I got a jersey for the Bucks. I got a jersey for the Admirals. I got 2 Packer jerseys. I got a Brewers jersey. I get that stuff, but it's just kind of frustrating about that. But again, with that said, just thank you to everybody that stopped in today. I definitely appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that shared the GoFundMe. I'm going to do one last check to see if there's any changes. Nope, that's okay. $2,105 is still our count right now. Hopefully it's going to keep going. I don't know if I'm going to be... I know I'm not streaming tomorrow for the game, but I'm planning on being on here, hope maybe Sunday, depending on what we're doing for the Suns game. But if not that game, I will, unless barring anything crazy, I will be on next Wednesday, the 20th, I believe it is, for the Celtics game, and we'll see what the Bucks can do against them. So, again, thank you everybody for stopping in. I definitely appreciate that. If you haven't already, please think about donating to the cause to help the sergeant that was assaulted outside of the jail on his way to work. But just thank you to everybody that is making this possible, that has inspired me to do what I do. And I just can't wait to keep going forward with it. So with that being said, I hope you guys all have a great night and stay frozen.